Fear and anxiety are certainly related, so I'm going to talk about them together. And I think that we can learn ways with the natural fears that occur when you have a strong reaction to anniversaries, hearing of someone else getting diagnosed. It's important to show compassion and kindness for your fear. I call it facing down the boogeyman of fear, because what happens with fears and anxieties is the land of what if. What if this? What if this? What if this? And pretty soon we've created this enormous land of what ifs. And usually they're not good. Usually they're scary. Usually they're things that are terrible consequences that are going to happen. The land of what ifs can get really out of control and big, and then we can feel overwhelmed with fear and anxiety. Had a beautiful phrase that she would teach people that I would like to offer too. She would say to people about these stories that we create, she would say, it's just a story. It's not a reality. You're creating a story. And in this sense, a story of fear, a fear story. So she would tell people, you can tell yourself, this is a story I don't need to tell myself. You might have to say it several times to convince yourself. But it does put into perspective that these are stories. They're not realities. In that sense, you have a choice of what you tell yourself and what you don't. I often say to people, hey, the what ifs could include the terrible, but you can also, if you want to create a story, you can also go to the other side. You might as well create a good one because they're all stories anyway. And acknowledges that it is a story, not the reality of what is happening in the present moment for you. Identifying the fear in your body is important. Notice sensations. Heartbeat, you might be sweaty. And then when you notice this, bring attention to it. Come into your body. Take some breath. Perhaps do some of the holding techniques. Allow the fear to be just another feeling, because it is just another feeling. If you could visualize it almost as a wave, like it just rolls through you. Just imagine that fear like an ocean wave just rolling through you and crashing on the shore. Then another one comes rolling through you. Let it crash on the floor and out of you, acknowledging that it will pass through, just as any feeling does. Angers, fears, joys, everything just passes through us if we just allow it to be like a wave flowing on. You can have a neutral attitude about fear and anxiety. Many meditation teachers teach this, like, oh, fear. Almost like, oh, it's fear. Oh, it's anxiety. And in that sense, you're kind of neutralize the intensity of the experience itself. That's another tool that can be very helpful. You don't have to be afraid of your fear. I think that oftentimes we give way too much power to fear, and then it gets, again, bigger and bigger and bigger. So notice if you are giving way too much power to your fear, and you can say to yourself, or to the fear itself, say, I really don't need to give you this much power. Yes, it's natural. Yes, I have this fear. But you don't really get to control me. You don't get to overrun my life or overwhelm me. Sometimes, if fear just really is hanging on, we have to get tough with it. We have to get tough with it like we would a bully. And just say, leave, get out of here, get tough. Sometimes you can go all the way to getting tough with your fear and telling it to get out of town.